So I'm in my front yard today. Yeah, my wife just went in to mix up some dough. She got the idea of maybe baking some bread in our little chimney, outside chimney thing out here. I don't know what the official name for it is, but she's gonna put the dough in there, I guess, and we're gonna block off the front and the top, make more like an oven atmosphere, and try to bake some bread in there. We've had this for probably 18 years. It's been in several locations, once on our deck, once in the backyard, and now it's came up to our little oval, half oval brick wall that kind of goes over the land. We built this wall, it was 1999, and we put a glass jar with a note and I think some money from the time, and we talked about Y2K because that was really big in 1999, and we just mentioned a few things in there, who we were and everything, and it's buried down in here. It's kind of like a time capsule, but no one knows it's there except my kids now. They know it's there. And we talked about maybe building a wall out here where our land goes down and then levels out. Maybe a wall right here all the way down, and then filling this up and leveling it with dirt, and then just covering this wall, just covering it, and you won't even know this one is here, and maybe ending down there, but like some kind of a wall, and leveling this out so we have more of a front yard. We may do that, we may not. And there's the tree fort that I want to put a roof on, and maybe some walls and windows, and make like a, I don't know, place that I can chill out, go out there, camp out, maybe an office, sit with my laptop, put a little table in there, a little, one of those little furnaces that has the pipe that goes out the roof, but you can also cook on it. I thought that would be a kind of a cool thing for that area. This has got some cracks. It's got a major crack there. And you can see, I guess it was put together, maybe this piece on the top, but it's starting to come off a little bit. Cracks here. And we were wondering, I was wondering if you could get mortar mix and mix it with a little bit of clay, this color, and maybe patch that. I'm not sure, like shove it down in there. I don't know. If you know, drop me a comment down below, because I'm not too, I'm not privy on that kind of stuff. But you may know, and it would help me out. Like, what would be the best way to mend this, but try to keep the original look? Like, I don't want to like put something weird in there, like liquid nails. That you couldn't do that anyway, because it would burn. But you know what I'm saying. What's the best way? Mortar mix, little clay, make it real soupy, and seep down in there. Would that work? I don't know. It feels like it's just like terracotta. Anyway, you can see we have lots and lots of wood from the down tree. We still have the down tree over there that we still have to cut up one day. It fell, and as you can see, it barely missed the tree fort. My neighbor, we were stuck in the parking garage in Asheville for 3 nights. So when we were flying out to Fort Lauderdale, and then to go to Miami, and then to a cruise to Haiti and Dominican Republic. And that's right when Hurricane Helene came through, so we got stuck there. Couldn't leave. It was floods. The highway was flooded, and the gas stations were all out. So that's where we were stuck. Anyway, we didn't have any way to communicate, but then finally we could text. On the day we came home that morning, we could text, and my neighbor texted me and said that we had some trees down in our yard, but it missed the tree fort. He let me know that right off. It missed our tree fort. So I built that for them several years ago when they were younger. They don't really use it that much now, but they both oppose the idea of having a roof and walls and windows. I don't know, maybe it's a nostalgic thing. They just want to keep it like it is. But Anyway, these down here need to be cut up, hacked up into firewood one day. And if you watched a prior video of the root fort that I showed in there, that's down just in front of, well, that where the tree is cut up in little pieces, and then there's the big trunk. Not a trunk, but whatever you want to call it, it's a tree. It goes down to the trunk and the roots. That's where the root system is, that I was underneath and thought it would be a good stealthy camp, especially if it was out in the woods somewhere and you found that situation in the woods. You could make it into like an outdoor stealthy hideout almost. Stock it with some water and some food, and yeah, it would be nice. It's just a nice light snowfall. That tree there is leaning, as you can see. We have some over there in that part of our yard that's leaning, like 1, 2, 3, 4 trees over there that eventually made it to come down. This tree, I think it's pretty much dead. It's going to have to come down one day, probably on its own, I don't know. But yeah, so this old outdoor chimney has survived 2 kids, several moves, probably who knows what else. And it's still here with us. But we were just talking that this is probably its final resting place. We probably won't move it again because I don't know if it could sustain another move. It might crumble and fall apart. And this is a nice spot for it. Even if we build the wall, you know, we would just put dirt here and maybe lift that or something, but leave it in the area where it is right now. From the looks of the snow, I don't think we're going to be going anywhere in the next day or two, because if it sticks, going down the mountain is a really tricky endeavor. I remember one year I almost slid off the side of the mountain. There's just one curve, we call it the bad curve. If we say the bad curve, everybody knows where it's at. That's the bad curve. But it was the bad curve. I almost slid off the side. And gosh, several times over the years, we've lived here since 1997, but several times over the years we've gotten stuck at the bottom of the mountain during inclement weather like this, where we didn't have a 4-wheel drive and we couldn't get up. And the van, of course, is not 4-wheel, it's not all-wheel. We couldn't get up. If we went down right now, I doubt we could get back up, even now when it's just maybe an inch or so of snow. But we've only had, I think since 97, we've had 2 or 3 4-wheel drive vehicles. I had an old Ford F-150 that I loved. It had a granny shift on the floor, I think it was a 3-speed on the floor. It was one of those granny shifts. I love that. I love that truck. And then of course we had a rodeo at one time. And I'm not sure if we had something else or not. But anyway. Oh yeah, got that baby fired up again. The heat feels good, that's for sure. I've taken refuge in the back of the van. I wanted to warm up a little bit. Didn't feel like sloshing around inside the house. Actually, I think I'll make a cup of coffee, because I have my pot. I always have it handy, like right here. And I'll call it a day, I think. Let this heat up. I think the propane is getting low. Anyway, I'm just gonna just chill out for a little bit before I go in the house, like I say, and call it a day. Ooh. So I don't know what tonight holds, but I can imagine we'll make something hot to drink, some kind of comfort food, something, warm, and we'll probably just all sit on the couch and watch either a good movie or maybe some more of the Brady Bunch. A couple, 2 or 3 episodes of that. It's cold back here. See, a lot of you seem to be interested in my buying and selling. I've been selling on eBay since 1997. And I've done very well. I have 100% positive feedback. Seems like I've been doing it for like my entire life. I've actually been buying and reselling things for a big part of my life, since I was about 18 to 20. So I have a lot of knowledge about collectibles and antiques, but I specialize in costume jewelry. But as I mentioned in a prior video, you can make a lot of money by just specializing in, say, baseball caps and t-shirts. Say those two things. They're both very easy to ship. You fold the shirt up, put it in an envelope, send it off. Caps you just put in the easy box. It's $6-7 to ship them. Maybe put it in a plastic grocery bag or something to protect it a little bit. And sorry about this noise, but I'm not going to cut that flame off. It's just too damn cold. But you can just concentrate on those two, like on the Goodwill. You can concentrate on those two items. The hats are almost always $1. T-shirts, I think now are up to $2.99, so $3. Hats, minimum $10, resell up to $35 to $40, which I've sold in that price range before. I sell a lot of different things, but if I wanted to just niche down and concentrate on that, you probably could do very well. You got to find hats that are clean. They don't have a lot of sweat stains or anything like that. They're clean, and you can find a lot of, because people buy hats for souvenirs when they go someplace. And a lot of times they don't wear them. They just get them for souvenirs. They set them on the shelf. I find a lot of hats that are new. A lot of hats. And you hit the right one, and people are going to pay a good price for it. Just try that. Take $10, buy hats and shirts or whatever. But anyway, go in there and first scour the hats, because they're only $1, and see what you can find. Okay? And then the t-shirts, you just got to use your Google Lens a lot. Okay? You got to, old concert shirts, whoa, just any of those, just get them, because they're going to sell to someone. It just depends. A shirt or a hat, you may think it's not going to sell, but you do a Google Lens and it could be $15, $20, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you take $5 or $6 because of tax and buy 5 hats and turn those over for a minimum, even $10, that's $50, right? You turn $6, a little over $5 actually, into $50, and that's good money. That's good money. But then you got to account that some of them are going to sell for $12, some of them for $18. Every now and then, one for $30 or $35. It's a good way to make extra money. Okay? Same way with shirts. You just got to learn the shirts and pick wisely, look them over very well, because I have purchased shirts and got them home and they've had a little stain here, or a little like hole under the arm or down near the seam or something. Shirts are a little bit more tricky. You really got to spend time to look them over, okay? But, yeah. It's a good way to pick up some extra money. Some coffee money. All right. I'm gonna pretty much wind it down. I'm not going to stay on here a whole lot longer. Oh, I see a little snowman out there looking at me. It's just like maybe this high, maybe a foot high. One of my kids must have built it. So, I tell you though, I love this camper van. I love this camper van. We've had all kind of like newer, nicer vehicles, but this is older, but it's a camper van, and this is probably my favorite vehicle that I have owned in my married life. It's so practical. It's small. It's a smaller one. It's a GMC Safari. You can drive it all over the place, park anywhere, parallel park, but then you can take it camping. You can have a place to make, coffee in the back, heat up food, make food, have a frying pan, make some omelets or, egg, bacon, and cheese sandwiches or whatever. We've done that, and it's just, man, it enhances your life so much to just go off and do something different. Just find a campground and go, or if it's just a day trip, you can sit at Walmart, you can sit at a park, you can sit anywhere and just chill out. It's really nice. And I say my married life because over here in my yard, covered up, I have a 1970 Buick Special Skylark. And at one time it was a beautiful, 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 beautiful car. It was immaculate. And I used to drive it around, and people would say things to me about it, just stopping at a red light, and they'd be like, man, beautiful car, dude, whoa, whoa. Now it's totally an antique, like well into the antique years. But before I left Florida many years ago, it was trashed. Someone, I know who did it, but they poured acid on it, and they broke the windshields and cut all my tires and did all that kind of stuff. They were just an evil person, very jealous, very jealous. But I still have it. I intend to fix it up one day, but I've had it up here for 20, what can I count? Since 1997. I think that's 27, 28 years. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, I've had it for a long time, and it probably, it wouldn't turn over now. I would have to take all the plugs out and pour oil down into the cylinders and probably hand turn it and break it loose before I'd want to try, to start it now, or it would just probably rip the pistons and rings, and the chambers in there would be all scarred up. I mean, it would just be a mess. So I don't know what to expect. I know it's rusted a lot. It may be a project one day that I do, and it may just sit there and deteriorate, and till I'm gone, and it'll probably mean nothing to my kids. And that's just the cold hard, truth. But I'm kind of getting rid of a lot of things. Like I had a huge baseball card collection, and on one of my prior videos a while back, I was selling some of them because I just want to kind of scale down. I'm older now. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And I start thinking about maybe one day leaving my kids all this just stuff. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like it at all. I don't want them to have to wade through stuff and determine what to keep and what to get rid of, and what is this and what did it mean to Daddy and why does he have it. I would rather not do that. So, yes, I might post, more videos about my buying and selling because it's all part of my life. I still love to do it. I still want to tell stories about my past so my kids can hear them one day. I still want to just have some adventures. I still want to do things. But I can mix that in also because it's just part of my life. It's just part of no video will be wholly 100% dedicated to any one specific subject because I like to just go out and just talk. That's what I like to do. And that's what I'm going to do. It heated up in here enough that the windows are a little melty. So, anyway, I should go. Guys, I am going to go. I'm so glad that you joined me. This was kind of a spontaneous video. I wasn't really planning on shooting anything today. Anyway, God bless you guys. I love you. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care. Cheers.